Note the disclaimer.
Can we throw stuff at logos now? Because there's like 44 seconds of logos and text here. We can't? Why do you toy with my heart, sexy Columbia statue lady?
This is just a gag to tell us what kind of movie we're watching.
Hilarious credit, but also the movie has time for this.
This counts as sinning something you like, by the way.
Have you ever felt like you were a little bit different?
Clouds. All important movies start with flying through the clouds. And narration. Wait, did I say important? I meant cliche.
This isn't a staple in every movie. This is just another problem you're inventing out of thin air. Also, let's see if we can test that line of yours. All cliche movies start with flying through the clouds. Yeah, nah, that doesn't work.
Crayon shoes!
How you gonna get him off, nerd?
Couldn't have said it better myself. Who is this young philosopher, and would he like a job?
That there is Brent McHale, otherwise known as Baby Brent, the spokesperson and mascot for the Baby Brent Sardine Cannery, and is later shown in this movie to be a hero of the town until Flint That Wood upstages him with his flitsome defer.
He wants to be smart, but that's lame!
Uncreative bullies. I rescind my previous offer.
No take-backs. I mean, your opinions are essentially law, right? That means this job offer is legally binding. You can't just retract it. You're stuck with him now, sucker!
But you can't run away from your own feet.
Someone's never seen Onward.
Given that Onward was released 11 years after Cloudy, this sin doesn't make any sense.
People probably thought that these guys were weirdos too.
Well, Alexander Graham Bell is widely thought to have stolen the invention of the telephone, so I'd go with asshole more than weirdo.
The point of Flint That Wood's mother saying that is to show that people probably didn't believe in them initially before they came up with things that made the world better.
I was saving this for your birthday.
Oh my god, is she about to smother him with a pillow? Why is this birthday gift shot ominousing so hard?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Scott. The correct answer we were looking for was a lab coat. Maybe let the scene play a little further before trying to make a ridiculous sin. Thanks for playing, though. Plus, why would his mother smother him? What kind of birthdays have you ever been to where this happens?
Hair on Balder!
What's the problem? It worked 100% as advertised.
This is what's referred to in the science and engineering industries as a critical oversight. The intention was to help Flint That Wood's father Tim regrow his hair, not turn him into a grey Sasquatch.
Right after everyone in the world realized that sardines are super gross.
Get bent, movie. Sardines are packed with nutrients, it's salty as hell. You can have anchovies, but leave sardines alone.
Objection opinion. This doesn't even align with everybody else's thoughts, either in this film or in real life. Also, Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Also, why did they have to eat the sardines just because people stopped buying sardines?
Primarily because sardine export had ended. No one outside of the island seems to know where Swallow Falls even is, and because of the plant's shutdown, everyone was stuck with the fish that the rest of the world didn't even want to partake in.
I mean, this is bigger than the goddamn Batcave.
Not a sin there, my dude.
Does he own a monkey? Exactly how hands-off are his parents?
Well, yes, Steve is his pet monkey, which, if you were paying attention, also plays the role of lab assistant and test subject for Flint That Wood's monkey thought translator. And no, I'm not going to stop saying Flint That Wood's name like that. That's how I learned it most when I first watched this movie back in 2009 and 2010.
Also, science-loving nerd that has a pet monkey. Could this be any more like Ross from Friends?
Jeremy, Friends called. They want their character and quote back.
The selections on this dial go by very fast, so let's play a game of Sinned or Saved. Through the miracle of frame-by-frame technology, let's see if Flint's settings match the food he's producing. If they don't, the movie gets a sin, but if they do, we'll remove one.
Okay, I'm game. Let's begin.
Flint first turns on the MSG and dairy buttons, flicks the switch to fried, depresses the spicy button, turns the sour up, turns the pepper down, or salt up, or whatever the hell that faulty knob does, adjusts the dressing on the side dial, presses several of the temperature buttons for some reason, and sets the final switch to crunchy.
Yep, all listed down here, telling me it's a regular fast food item.
So we're looking for something with MSG and dairy that's spicy, sour, salty, fried, and crunchy.
Ah yes, that narrows it down nicely.
And the answer is...
Cheeseburger.
Even if you count the lettuce as crunchy, which, nice stretch, Elastigirl, the fried and sour just don't add up. Consider it sinned.
Objection, improper opinion. For one, Cinema Sins Land doesn't seem to have pickles on their menus. So keep that in mind when asking for a hot dog with relish or a burger with the lot. because that would explain the sour dial on the cheeseburger settings. Secondly, Jeremy seems to have never cooked a burger before, as some patties are fried in a pan, specifically when you're making a homemade one. Thirdly, unfair sin. So for this, I'm going to have to just give you 2 here.
Don't you think it's time to give up this inventing thing? Get a real job?
So many kids' movies make the villains the people telling the daydreamer to get real, when most adult movies are about how the daydreamer gets wrecked. And I feel like we should do a better job on the transition maybe. And I'm going to sin this movie for it, because that's when I thought of it, so there.
For one, not every character that tells the daydreamers come back to reality is a villain. Like Tim here. He just doesn't want his son getting killed by one of his inventions blowing up in his face, and doesn't entirely understand what's best for him. Mayor Shelbourne, however, later becomes a villain by asking Flint to continue running the machine to the point that a natural disaster washes up on the shore. For another, this is just another instance of you acting like your opinions are the law and should therefore be immune from punishment. But I guarantee you, in this court, nothing is sacred.
It had been almost 10 years since Mom died.
Because all animated films have to dead parent in the first 10 minutes. It's in the Constitution.
That's not what this pile of evidence shows. 101 Dalmatians, Brave, Encanto, Flushed Away, Hercules, The Incredibles, Moana, Mulan, Ponyo, Sleeping Beauty, Spirited Away, Tangled, and Zootopia. Just because a large selection of films have had protagonists with 1 or 0 parents doesn't mean the opposite hasn't been attempted.
Look out, baby friend! Uh-oh.
What the
Okay, your delivery of that actually made me laugh. However, this was the movie's way of advertising the Baby Brent Sardine Company, so for this I'm neither adding or removing a sin here.
Every character in this movie is either Flint or a bully.
Look, if you want to lump Steve, Sam, Manny, and Tim into this, be my guest. However, do not associate them with being a bully.
My weekend to-do list somehow ends up in... Oh, that says Chom. Never mind.
Ooh, yeah, we're not having that in here, Jeremy.
Is it a rally if 25 or so people show up? I say no.
Actually, there's no universal minimum number, so a rally could pretty much be 8 to 10 people for all I can gather. Also, this isn't a rally. This is an event to unveil a new sardine-themed amusement park.
We just need 17,000 more gigajoules.
17,000 more gigajoules?
Is it just me, or does he sound an awful lot like 1955 Doc Brown here?
21 gigawatts!
The tiny island doesn't exist, but if it did, people wouldn't take a miniature ferry to and from that tiny island.
Could you maybe take the semantics of it out of your head for just a moment and realize that this is fictional?
He survives this electrocution and fall and the rest of this movie. Cartoon physics. There's so much he survives this here, I'm just adding 20 sins and moving on.
Are you padding the sin count, bro? I think you're padding the sin count.
Looks like things in Swallow Falls are sardine to get better.
Ugh, if Dicer wrote this pun in a sin, I would cut it and cut his pay. And consider even cutting his... Maybe this has gotten too dark.
Well, I'm glad you cut yourself off, but that was still going to go a bit too far. Okay, I'm not going to make the same mistake I nearly made during How to Train Your Dragon. Since that one was genuine, and you removed a sin, I'm going to be gracious and do the same thing.
Got me again, dang it.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Man, that is a gaspectomy right there, and those are always worth 5 cents.
Padding the sin count. As usual. Also, you spelled ectomy wrong there.
What the f***? Man, I would not trust a rain cloud to properly cook a burger to the correct temperature. I barely trust McDonald's to get that right.
Well, hang on. You pointed out the temperature controls on the Flitsum Defer that Flint Lockwood pressed when he tried to do the beta test. And now you're saying it won't be the correct temperature? You left your brain at home before coming to the recording booth again, didn't you?
You may have seen a meteor shower, but you've never seen a shower meteor than this.
My god, the puns in this movie are making me hangry.
Okay, eat a Snickers, Jeremy. Better?
You will be so proud of me, Dad.
Unlikely.
Maybe at first, but after a while he comes to appreciate his interests and work.
The machine uses a principle of hydrogenetic mutation. Water molecules are bombarded with microwave radiation, which mutates their genetic recipe into any kind of food you want.
Honestly, I prefer the character just say yada yada. It's a lot faster.
If he did that, it would defeat the purpose of Sam and Manny, and by extension us, knowing how the machine works.
Pushing, folding, connecting, taping, turning, painting, switching, staring.
Excitement?
Well, if you didn't cut him off here, he says motivating, which is what it's supposed to be. Charming.
This mayoral mother right here, mainlining bacon down his throat, is my hero.
Which deserves a sin off, right? Right?
Now that's what I call poultry in motion.
I'm adding 10 sins for all the terrible food puns in this movie.
Oof, someone's salty.
Also, look at this little kid with 7 or 8 turkey legs on the wagon. That's hoarding.
And that is pointing out things on the screen again.
My home's official name somehow ends up in... Oh, that says cumin. Never mind.
What the f***? No, Jeremy, you go into that bathroom and wash your mouth out.
Movie steals the dodgeball joke from Billy Madison, which stole the snowball joke from Dumb and Dumber. So what snows around comes around.
There's a major difference here between stealing a joke and paying homage. This scene from Cloudy is very clearly doing the latter.
Autogelatinous asphyxiation.
Cringe.
Everything's made of Jell-O!
Then why is the piano making music?
Cartoon logic, Mr. Scott. You know, the thing you constantly question in every animated movie ever.
Metaphorical conveniences.
Ugh, do I have to go over this? Flint Lockwood and his father had a falling out, so the added sign falls off of his tackle shop. This is supposed to be symbolism, not a convenience, and you're sinning it. Heartless human being, I tell you.
Dear condiment Christ in hot dog heaven, did we really need to see Mayor of the Hut deep throat a giant hot dog? Damn, movie.
Probably not, but this is to show the mayor's more vindictive, money-hungry, and eating disordery side. Also, yelling at the screen. Also, inappropriate comment. Also, Star Wars called, and they want their slug-like being back. Preferably in the bowels of the Sarlacc pit.
Not to mention that little cutlet Sam Sparks.
Referring to women as cuts of meat.
Don't act like you're any better, Mr. Scott, or I'll give you a darn good ribbing.
So this is your basic rock star story, right? Rags to riches, only to realize the rags were pretty okay? Like the movie Rockstar.
Not quite. He was more of an outcast because people laughed at him and his ideas until coming out with the Philizumdifer and becoming beloved in the community right up to the point where the caloric disaster begins.
I will admit that a spaghetti tornado is a pretty rad idea, but I thought the food was just getting bigger. Why would it be getting tornadic?
Well, Flint Lockwood did tell the mayor that the food was overmutating. In his mind, it meant more than just getting bigger. And this is just an example of what that could mean. Much like how the ice cream was treated as snowfall. And this counts as sinning something you like, by the way.
Nice to meet you!
See, the movie's obsession with food puns has finally undone the whole thing, as no one would ever order beets. Ever. Jesus.
Well, if you didn't talk over Flint Lockwood here, you would have heard him say that's a radish. But still, if the food puns really bother you that much, then maybe it's Nutshell Movie. So just let us have our fun and stop having so much beef. Okay, I will see myself out.
What are you doing?
Well, I tried to help everybody.
Look in the sky, it's a giant bag of potato skips.
To borrow from a commenter on Luke's video, more like go on Kamoli.
When it rains, you put on a coat.
This is the fastest healing of a broken father-son bond since Dewey Cox's dad did a 180 on Loving Dewey after cutting himself in half and realizing how easy it is to accidentally cut someone in half.
Okay, so how about you explain to us why that's wrong here?
Couldn't have said it better myself. Stick to the assignment, Jeremy.
The pancake and butter and syrup all arrive separately, but must have been ordered, programmed together. Not all the ingredients end up in the right place.
Doesn't matter since this is a gag. And a reference to an illustration in the original book.
An ice cream sandwich? The mayor said he ordered a typical Vegas-style buffet. Do Vegas casinos have ice cream sandwiches on the buffet?
Well, he didn't order an actual buffet. What he ordered is everything we previously saw in earlier scenes in the style of a buffet, such as the pizzas, sandwiches, jelly beans, celery stalks, tomatoes, hot dogs, donuts, and pasta. So ice cream sandwiches, as we saw previously with an old man requesting avocado, and with Sam Sparks showing off the out-of-cider machine, wouldn't be out of place in this Hungry Cane.
I'm coming with you. You're gonna need someone to navigate you through that storm.
No one will be seated during the Independence Day portion of the movie.
Another day, another call, and still no secretary.
Pizza's chasing us!
Sentient food? That's impossible!
Everyone here would be excellent at CinemaSins.
Because they're being questioned a minute nags? I'll fill the application straight away. However, I wouldn't say that was true about Manny or Steve, since they both remain quiet, and Sam later explains that the molecular structure of the food has been mutated into superfood, after which Flintlock Wood joins in with the comment about food being genetically engineered to protect the Flidzumdifer. A fact you most likely would have gotten if you didn't cut off the audio before Sam spoke.
Volcano avalanche of food. It's just like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, only with food instead of dinosaurs.
Telling us a fact, referencing a film that came out after this one, no proper sin. I wouldn't trust you running a bath, let alone a f***ing Sins channel.
This is the most visually interesting, boring chase sequence I've ever seen.
Objection opinion. You can't just say, I don't like this thing, and claim it to be a flaw with the movie.
I'm sorry, but grilled cheese is the worst idea for a boat. That bread will be soaked and sinking immediately. Why not celery, or banana boats, or chips and salsa?
Wow, so here you are thinking the movie's puns are too cheesy, and now you come up with this corny line. However, that's a peanut butter and jam sandwich, not a cheese toasty. And they toasted the bread before they set sail. And it's another reference to the original book.
Now hold the phone here a second. Having fortune cookies drop only on the Great Wall of China is racist as hell.
Hold on, why is this the only instance of localized food you sin? What about the bagels, hot dogs, and mustard crushing New York citizens? The hot tea over London? Sushi over Japan? Okay, that scene doesn't exist. But this isn't an issue of racism, it's food localization.
Flint's last-minute flying car, totally Millennium Falcons, Brent and Sam here.
Glad you didn't call this a Deus Ex Machina, but now I'm on the hold with Star Wars saying Han Solo wants his ship back.
This joke is so far out of left field, I almost love it. But you know me, I'll find sins even if I have to make them up.
Jeremy invents a problem out of thin air cliche.
Spray on shoes!
So he saves the day by spraying shoes onto the food uvula to stop it from dumping more giant meals out of its sentient sphincter. Do you even hear yourself right now, movie?
I don't even think you heard yourself, Jeremy. This is an animated movie. Nothing in it is meant to be serious. And yet, you're treating it as such. This isn't our reality.
As we pan back in happiness, just look at all that food. That's going to get moldy and dangerous to be around in about a week. These people are all dead, they just don't know it yet.
Not quite. The second movie picks up right on that, in which the residents are evacuated and cleanup begins. Ha! Retroactive sinning! And with that, court is adjourned. Be sure to leave any more suggestions for CinemaSins sins down below, and I will see you all in the next video.